Let's go Game 4. The Ottawa Charge battling the Montreal Victoire for the Walter Cup in Ottawa tonight, and the fans are feverish with support. Good afternoon. This is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan. We begin at the Canadian Tire Centre, where it's a do-or-die game for the Ottawa Charge in their battle for the Walter Cup. The Charge won their Monday game to stay alive in the best-of-5 series against the Montreal Victoire. They now trail the series 2-1. Game time is still a couple of hours away, but traffic will no doubt be heavier heading west to the CTC tonight, and the construction bottlenecking vehicles around Pinecrest won't help. If you are westbound towards the CTC, give yourself extra time if the plan is to be there for puck drop at 7 p.m. Let's go live to CTV's Dylan Dyson at the Canadian Tire Centre. Dylan.
Yeah, Stefan, if Monday's win was any indication, Charge fans will want to leave early to get here, as Monday's game saw a PWHL record of nearly 17,000 fans come out to the Canadian Tire Centre here. Now, there's no two ways about it. Ottawa faces an uphill battle to win its first Walter Cup this year, needing to rattle off 2 straight wins to claim its best-of-5 series versus Montreal. But you wouldn't know their season is on the line by looking at the players today. At this morning's morning skate, the team looked as loose as can be, even bringing out a speaker onto the bench where songs like "Stayin' Alive" by the Bee Gees and "I'm a Believer" by Smash Mouth were heard. Maybe some subtle messaging towards the team's intentions for tonight.
When you're on the inside of it, you understand what the pieces of that have come together over the season. You don't stress this time away. You embrace this opportunity. We have earned our right to be here. So for us, that's why you're feeling the energy from our group.
So needless to say, the Charge are embracing this moment with their season on the line. Head coach Carla McLeod saying this isn't even pressure, this is the fun part of the season. Now, if the Charge are to go on and win the Walter Cup this year, they will have to complete the reverse sweep, which is to lose the first 2 games and then win the next 3 to take the series, something current Charge player Emma Greco did with the Minnesota Frost back in 2024. Now, every game of these finals has been decided by a single goal, and head coach Carla McLeod says she is a believer that her team can win another one like that tonight. Stefan.
All right, CTV's Dylan Dyson reporting live for us. We're believers too. Thank you, Dylan. And you can watch tonight's game between the Charge and the Victoire live on TSN. Again, puck drop is set for 7 p.m. Turning now to the ongoing parking problems plaguing the Department of National Defence's Carling campus. In an internal memo shared with select DND staff, the department says it met with the City of Ottawa and OC Transpo last week to address the parking chaos. CTV's Tyler Fleming joining us live now with more on that meeting, Tyler.
Yeah, Steph, that internal memo suggests senior defense officials expect parking pressures to worsen this fall as more workers return to the office. The memo outlines possible solutions following a meeting with the city and OC Transpo officials, with ideas that include express buses from key transit hubs and nearby park and ride lots and discounted transit passes. The document also explores a possible sidewalk link from the future Moody LRT station to the Carling campus, about a 1.5-kilometer walk. Many workers call the parking here a nightmare, with not enough spots for the roughly 5,000 Department of National Defense employees coming to work each day, a number which will likely swell come fall when 4-day office work weeks begin.
Horrible days are like Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays, because most people comes to the office on that day. Anything which is helpful for the coming to the office to the commute, I would highly appreciate it on that, yeah.
CTV News has reached out to DND, which says it is working on a response. Now, the memo says DND and city staff are expected to continue talks ahead of a planned meeting between Ottawa's mayor and the Minister of Defense later this month. Stefan.
CTV's Tyler Fleming reporting live for us. Thank you for this, Tyler. Turning to breaking news now, a hospital patient in Ontario is being tested for Ebola. In a statement, a spokesperson for the Ontario Ministry of Health tells CTV News the person recently returned from East Africa and is being tested out of an abundance of caution. It is not clear when the person returned to Canada and what symptoms they might have. The latest Ebola outbreak in Congo and Uganda has resulted in at least 134 deaths and more than 500 suspected cases. Over the weekend, the World Health Organization declared the outbreak a public health emergency of international concern. In other news, thousands of job seekers lined the halls of the Merivale Mall this afternoon for a special job fair. Most are newcomers to the capital, hoping for some help in finding employment. The Opportunities Expo for New Canadians is organized by the YMCA of the National Capital Region. The event is aimed at helping ease the strain on newcomers to Ottawa, look for work while settling into the community.
We really try to bring all the resources and all sectors available here in Canada in that event in one place. And at the end, the idea is what we try to make sure to give access to newcomers to all information available and let them feel that they belong to this community.
Now in its 6th year, this free job fair open to everyone looking for work, connecting potential employees with more than 30 employers, community organizations, and settlement services. Investigators are working to determine what caused a fire that destroyed nearly a dozen mobile homes in Clarence Rockland.
The trees and the propane tanks, they explode. It's very scary.
Firefighters responded to a call for a vehicle fire at the Mapleview campground in Clarence Creek around 5:30 last night, and the fire quickly spread. Heavy smoke and damaged structures were reported at the campsite. Firefighters were at the scene for hours working to get the blaze under control.
The fire and the exposure, meaning mobile home was completely on fire, completely engulfed with a few auxiliary structures right next to it. With the high winds, fire spread quite quickly.
The fire chief says some firefighters dealt with heat exhaustion, but all have recovered well. No injuries to report. A new study from Statistics Canada shows how breast cancer outcomes are not equal everywhere. The data reveals differences in diagnoses and death rates among women across the country. It also underscores how the communities people live in may actually influence their risk. The study found diagnosis rates were highest in urban centers with large immigrant and racialized populations, as well as some rural regions. In contrast, rates were lowest in large metropolitan areas such as Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver, and also in northern and remote regions. As for death rates, the information shows rates are highest in rural eastern regions and lowest in big cities. The differences could be due to disparities in treatment access or follow-up care. While residents in Ottawa and Eastern Ontario were spared, many people in parts of southwestern Ontario are dealing with the aftermath after a series of severe storms. A 19-year-old died in Huntsville area after he was struck by a falling tree. Thunderstorms and damaging winds rolled across several regions throughout Tuesday and into last night. At one point, many communities were under tornado warnings. Some of the heaviest damage was in London, Ontario. This weekend, roughly 40,000 people are expected to take part in Ottawa Race Weekend, but one participant is getting a lot of attention for his age and big goals.
I set a fairly good pace. Now, we'll turn and go back. Can we do that?
Roy Allen is set to become the oldest person ever to participate in the 5K. He has been training for months. Apart from proving that age is just a number, Mr. Allen is going to be, apart from proving that age is just a number, Mr. Allen is raising crucial funds for 4 organizations that have helped him in retirement, as well as his wife, who is living with dementia.
On the 5th of April, I was 100.
And how do you feel?
Just fine. Yes, being 100 hasn't made any difference in how I feel. Yeah, I get up every day and get dressed and have breakfast and go about my day doing things.
Participating was his daughter Sarah Bercier's idea. She says her dad has always been healthy and continues to be resilient as he ages. 2 5-month-old puppies are in the care of the Ottawa Humane Society after being found abandoned in Manotick. The dogs were found in a parking lot on Saturday before being taken into a nearby business. Officials say while the pair were scared, underweight and covered in small scabs. They are doing well now at the Humane Society. The organization says if pet owners feel they need help or can no longer care for their animals, there are options.
The Ottawa Humane Society is here, and we can help you take care of your animal. We have some great programs like a pet food bank, wellness clinics, temporary boarding for people in crisis. And if none of those services can help you keep your pet, we're here to make sure they have a soft place to land.
The Humane Society is waiting to see if an owner comes forward. If that doesn't happen in the next few days, they'll start preparing the puppies for adoption. Coming up on CTV News at 5, how much Canadian taxpayers are paying to host the World Cup. 580 CFRA's Christy Cameron will be here to break it all down. And our Jackie Paris is live at the Canadian Tire Centre for us. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Stefan. Hanging out here at Electric Avenue. We've already had the red carpet move through. Fans are waiting to get in to cheer on the Ottawa Charge. Now, as you can see, it's quite windy here right now. It's been a fairly windy day, but we've had lots of sunshine. Temperatures hovering around 18, 19 degrees. The sun will continue to shine until sundown, scheduled for about 8:30 this evening. Keep in mind, though, that temperatures are dropping significantly as a cold front brings overnight temperatures near or below the freezing mark. This has prompted a frost advisory in effect for most of Eastern Ontario. Not quite here in Ottawa, but temperatures overnight 3 degrees. Yes, there is a risk of a frost as well. We'll get a closer look at your long-term forecast because tomorrow we're anticipating another cooler day in the capital.
Thanks, Jackie. Here's what you need to know. Check out the Monster Spectacular this Saturday at the Canadian Tire Centre. A mix of racing, stunts, and showmanship in one action-packed show. It starts at 2 p.m. You can head over to the CTC website for tickets. We'll be right back. Our popular Team of the Week segment is back. If you want to be a part of our Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week, upload your video to ctvnewsottawa.ca. Well, the cost of Canada hosting the World Cup will be over $1 billion. This number, according to the federal budget watchdog. About $473 million of that comes from the federal government, with other levels of government, including Toronto and Vancouver, paying for the rest. Today's radio question of the day is asking, should the Canadian taxpayers spend $1 billion on the FIFA World Cup?
Absolutely not. The country's in a deficit. The cost of living is ridiculous right now. Not to mention, how is this going to benefit Canada at all, except for exposure? Exposure doesn't pay the bills. How are we going to take ourselves out of this deficit?
Christy Cameron is here with more, and I like that last line saying exposure doesn't pay the bills. I tend to agree. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I love that Canada is hosting this, that Toronto and Vancouver are going to be seen globally. That's exciting, and, you know, I feel patriotic. But Paloma is right, $82 million a game. That's obscene, and it's not like people can easily afford to go. Some of the tickets in Vancouver are like $900. So if you judge this stuff as a private investment by dollars and cents, the math obviously doesn't justify taxpayers footing the bill. Global exposure doesn't pay money. However, there is an argument that goes beyond math, that speaks to civic pride, that maybe we're not getting the money back in dollars, but that it is important for Canada right now to be seen like this, to be seen as ambitious, exciting, that, you know, we deserve to do this, that if we added it up, we would never host big events like the Olympics or the FIFA World Cup. Certainly, the Canadian Taxpayers Federation and people that agree with their worldview would say that they're okay with that.
Yeah, you know what would make for better civic pride? You know, affordable housing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Food banks not needing to feel strained or stretched, or people not feeling as though they can't afford to live. Because again, like you mentioned, we don't have access. A lot of us don't have access to these sports without putting ourselves into debt with the price of the tickets.
True, and in Toronto and Vancouver, a lot of the people are looking at all the infrastructure that was built, because there is a heck of a lot of it. We have to pay for all these things to actually host the games, and they're kind of walking past the areas that are built up, and they're on the outside looking in. Like, look at this great event my city is having, but I'm not there. I had Moshe Lander on the show very quickly. He's a sports economist, and he argued, even though he's a big football fan, that it's just not worth it, because these big events, he argues, never actually make money. And that's the issue for me. It's the transparency. It's the promising that this is going to be a big return on investment, as opposed to just telling people we want to host it.
Yeah. Great publicity for Canada, not so much a big boom for Canadians. Thank you, Chris. You can join the conversation and leave a comment through the Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. You can listen live to Christy Cameron on Newstalk 580 CFRA weekdays from 2 to 6. And now watch Christy anytime on YouTube. Subscribe to the Newstalk 580 CFRA channel. Coming up on CTV News at 5, hundreds of parking tickets issued during one of Ottawa's biggest annual attractions as visitors flock to the popular Tulip Fest. Coming up tonight on CTV after the 6 o'clock news, you can watch E-Talk starting at 7, then a triple back-to-back whammy of The Big Bang Theory starting at 7:30, MasterChef at 9, The Floor at 10. We're going to head back out to the Canadian Tire Centre for another check on the weather forecast. That's where Jackie is live tonight, looking great in red and all charged up for Game 4.
All charged up, Stefan, regardless of this win. And I know these fans are all charged up for tonight's game. We're going to get to them in just a bit. Let's take a look at this weather forecast. Here is our Charge forecast for this evening. It's about 17, 18 degrees right now, getting down to about 13 degrees around 7 o'clock. Sunny skies, though. By 9 p.m., it will be cooling down about 10 degrees with a few clouds in the sky. Now, take a look at tomorrow. It's going to be much cooler than what we saw for the start of the week. 4 degrees to kick things off in the morning. Sunny skies, though, is the good news. We're only warming up to about 15 degrees. Now, a closer look at the next couple of days. Sunny skies are in the forecast as we get closer to the weekend. It's actually not until the weekend that we could see some precipitation. A closer look at the valley, 1 degree overnight, 15 from sunshine for tomorrow's daytime highs. We've got clear skies overnight for the Seaway, 6 degrees, and mainly sunny, and 16 for tomorrow's daytime high. Now look at the next several days. Yes, things are going to start warming up. Not quite the 28, 29 degree weather we saw, but 15 degrees for Thursday, 19 and sun for Friday. A chance of showers as we get into the weekend, but hopefully that changes. It'll still be a good chance to get out and about. We are warming up by the time Monday rolls around. 20 degrees is the anticipated daytime high.
Weather is brought to you by Manotick Tree. Complete tree care from start to stump.
All right, and here we have Millie, we have Ollie here. They've got their Go Charge Go hats on. They've got their gear, and these fans are all charged up. The gates open very soon, and puck drop is at 7 o'clock. We are going to have more from this in the 6 o'clock newscast, but for now, let's take a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. Showcasing Kaweki Point, the current temperature is 18 degrees. Stefan.
Thank you for this, Jackie. All getting infected with that fan excitement just now. Go Charge, go indeed. Coming up on CTV News at 5, shopping local in the Byard Market with the new program supporting immigrant entrepreneurs looking to launch their business. Details shortly. If you need gas tonight, one of today's cheapest gas prices can be found at the Esso and Circle K station in Nepean. Regular gas there is listed for 186.9 cents a liter. You're watching CTV News at 5.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Here's another live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. Not a bad spring day here in the nation's capital. We're sitting at 18 degrees under partly cloudy sky. And it's time now for a look at CTV News at 6. Here's birthday girl Patricia Ball.
Thank you, Steph. Here's what we're working on for 6 o'clock. After a dramatic finish against Montreal on Monday, the Ottawa Charge looking to even up the series tonight in Game 4 of the Walter Cup final.
There is really a shortage of strong domestic providers. There should be more of us.
We take you inside a data center in Nepean as the importance of data sovereignty steps into the forefront amid frosty relations between Canada and the U.S. And we'll introduce you to our Myers Team of the Week, a nonprofit organization celebrating Mexican culture through the art of dance. All of that and more is coming up tonight on CTV News at 6. That's right after the early edition of CTV National News with Sandy Ronaldo at 5:30. Steph.
Thank you, Patricia. I didn't get the memo on game day right. I'm going to have to change for the 6 o'clock news. Now, the final 5 other stories we're following today.
Each one actually gets the opportunity to have a residency for a week in our pop-up shop here at the Byward Market to test their products, sell to real people, and really launch their business.
Now until October, you can visit a pop-up shop in the Byward Market that changes every week. 23 participants taking part in Immigrant Entrepreneur Canada's Retail Incubator Program, launching their business vision. 54 fires have been started by lithium-ion batteries in Ottawa over the past 2.5 years, including at least 6 linked to electric vehicles or e-bikes. Councillor David Hill is asking city staff for data on lithium-ion batteries following a story by CTV's Katie Griffin. Fire officials say 23 of the fires have caused significant structural damage to homes, while 31 fires were contained to the area of origin. Bylaw officers issued hundreds of parking tickets during the Canadian Tulip Festival. Officers stepped up patrols in Little Italy, and temporary special event parking restrictions were in effect during the 11-day festival run. The city tells CTV News Ottawa 456 tickets were given to vehicles parked in the special event zones, and another 359 tickets were issued for other parking infractions. Ottawa's pedestrian street near Parliament Hill turned 66 today. It was on this day in 1960 when Spark Street was transformed into a temporary pedestrian mall for the summer. The Historical Society of Ottawa says Spark Street was a pedestrian mall for 6 summers and then became a permanent pedestrian area during the Canadian Centennial in 1967.
We have 17 kilometers of fencing that goes on at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. We also have 200,000 square feet of structures that are built off of scaffolding.
And final preparations are underway in Montreal for this weekend's Canadian Grand Prix. It's the only Canadian stop on the calendar for Formula One. There is a sprint race on Saturday with the main race on Sunday, along with races for the F1 Academy and Formula 2. Last year, more than 350,000 fans visited the track for race weekend, and it's always a great time. That is CTV News at 5. Thanks for watching, everyone. The early edition of National starts now.